Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of our podcast on our financial series. Today we're going to be talking about road to success. So we're going to be asking Darren a little bit about his road to financial freedom and success. So Darren, do you want to just talk about what's your career journey?
Career journey. So surprisingly enough, it's kind of colourful. It's colourful. Let me use that word. It's colourful. So. I think thinking back to when I was you guys' age, please don't follow in my footsteps, I actually didn't do that great in school. So I didn't get as many GCSEs as I was supposed to. That made it very difficult for me to get into sixth forms and colleges. So I ended up having to go to a general college with people who were sort of from the ages of 16 years old right up until sort of 35, 40, people who were kind of coming back to do further education. Completely wild and crazy experience, being around people who were so different to my age group. That caused me to not do too well in college. So I ended up failing my first 2 years of college. So at this point, I'm 18 years old, I don't have great GCSEs, I don't have good A-levels. All of my peers who did do well, they've gone on to university, and I'm here like, what am I gonna do? So I thought, all right, do you know what, let's get focused. And I think when I got to around about 18 is when I found myself my mentor. Like, he kind of helped shake me up a little bit, and he kind of helped me focus my mind and think less about what I was told to do, what I was told to study, all the things that I kind of wished I wanted to be as a kid, and maybe kind of ask myself, what makes you happy? Like, what do you genuinely want to do? Like, what actually brings you fulfillment and purpose? That allowed me to completely change everything I was doing. So I stopped listening to all the people that gave me advice about you should study this, be a doctor, be a lawyer, all the kind of typical things, and I decided, nope, do you know what, tech is what I love. Tech is what I love. I wasn't going to let anyone deter me, no one was going to distract me, I'm going to pick tech. So I ended up going to a college which had more my peer group, so it's more like a sixth form type college, so I was around people my age, much more comfortable. And I decided I'm going to go again, another 2 years. Still didn't do very well. Still didn't do very well. Better than the first time, but still not as good as I was supposed to. So now I think I'm 20, thinking how am I going to get into university? And I remember, I think at that time, I don't know if it's still the case, they had UCAS points. Yeah. So you had to get a certain amount of UCAS points. And I think most universities, looking sort of 200, 240, yeah. Some of the top ones like Oxford, Cambridge, 300, 320, so I'm like, where I'm going to apply to. Obviously, I shot an application to Oxford, you never know. shot one there. And I applied to a few, and I think when I ended up getting my grades, I got something like 160 UCAS points, and I was like, yeah, this is never gonna work. This is never gonna work. I was like, I'm screwed, I'm done. Now, God willing, I was shown favour because I went through clearing process, and I think I chose to go to Kingston, and I think they wanted 260, and they were clearing at 180. I've got 160, so you can imagine it's a very nervous phone call, phoning up like, I don't think I even make your clearing grade, let alone the asking grade. So I called up, had that hold music, I was on hold for a time, very anxious. It's like, I'm calling up for the computer science course, I want to go through clearing. And she asked me sort of, how many UCAS points do you have? And I was like, 60? Long silence. And I was like, this is not going good. Then she turned around and said, do you have your GCSE English? And I was like, yes, I've got that. That was one thing I got that. She said, all right, fax it through and join us in September.
Wow.
So that was it. After all that kind of, tell me about it. After kind of all those years of hardship, I managed to find a place in uni. And this time, with my mentor's help, I'm now laser focused. Where a lot of uni students sort of party in the first year, I was a library student, straight there studying, because I knew I've already got 4 years of troublesome times. Yeah. Most of my friends are kind of halfway through uni. I've got a lot of catching up to do. So I was such a good student. I focused more than I ever did in school or college. Focused. And then I'm getting my computer science degree.
Well done.
Yeah. And that was kind of my leap through.
So, off the back of that, what would your advice be to not go through that? Obviously, like, it was very hit and miss, and you did have favour getting in. But if you were to put yourself back in like the age of these guys and making sure that you're getting the grades and building up there's other ways to build up UCAS points, what would your advice be to these guys?
So I know I always told sort of pay attention in school, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I would just thought it was just, I would definitely pay attention to school. Like, if you get it right the first time, even if it feels laborious and tired and really, really annoying, getting it right the first time is always better, always better. And definitely look sort of outside of school for some extra learning opportunities, because that really broadens your horizons and mindsets. And when you get into college, things are changing so much. There's so much you can do. Some of your outside experiences really help shape you. So definitely look outside of school and in school for all learning possibilities. But take it serious from the beginning.
So let me take you from now, you've graduated university. What was the next journey then for you?
So the next one is I did what most people do, kind of looking for jobs, walk into an employment. And being in tech, I started working for sort of financial services companies, mainly in investment banking spaces. After about 5 or so years of doing that, again, I had a bit of an acid test, like, is this really me? You know, does this feel right? Is this the right environment I want to work in? Is my spirit feel fulfilled? And the answer was no. The answer was no. I realized that helping other people is what I wanted to do, and that kind of dovetailed me into business and entrepreneurship. And then my mentor helped me make that switch. It's not an easy one to make, but he helped me make that switch, going from working full-time to being a full-time entrepreneur.
About your mentor, how was that, like, when you were, like, you're 2 years into college now, and I feel like, because it's like continuously your mentor, like, how did you come about finding him, and what was so special, like, how did you know he was the guy or the person?
The thing is, at first I didn't. So I met him while I was actually working somewhere, and kind of, you know, you generally spend time with colleagues. I'm not always the most open type of person to speak, especially in a work setting, but I think we clicked, and we had similar backgrounds. Now, he's a lot older than me, so there's a kind of like a fatherly respect for him because he's so much older than me. But I remember he took me out for dinner one time, and we just got talking, and I could see that his journey looked like mine, but just further ahead. And that for me was like, well, if I'm going to have a mentor, I want someone who's done the thing I want to do, because then I know what they tell me is a reality.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of how we built up. And obviously over the years, he's helped and supported me, which has drawn us closer and closer together.
When you were at that stage of, like, school, and like how you said, like, 2 years down in college and you're still not doing as good as you would want to, how did that, like, impact family-wise? Because I feel like there's a constant pressure from family, and, like, school is one thing, social life is another, but family,
it's
family
pressure. It's double, right? It's double.
Triple,
it's work too. So for me, I guess I'm sort of half African, half Caribbean. So again, that comes with its own pressure, and they both have stereotypical views on what you should study. So I was constantly hearing that, you know, lawyer, doctor, like all those very typical professions, and that none of them fit me. None of them fit me at all. So for a long time, it was a tense point, because I was being pushed to study something and I was resistant on the one end, but it ended up being just a frank conversation, and I was like, look, I don't want to do that. And at some point, please respect what I do choose to do. And I almost had to say, look, let me do what I choose to do, and I'll show you what I can excel in it. And that kind of is when they kind of let go and said, all right, well, watch. And that's when I was kind of helped with the kind of blocking out the negativity, because I now have to prove people who are trying to convince me to do something else that what I've chosen is right. That gave me even more motivation.
Yeah, I think that's a problem which many people struggle with. Their families want them to do something else, but them inside, they don't really want to do that. They want to do a different career. So what advice would you give to those people?
I would say don't lose sight of the thing you really want to do, because it will show. It will show, because you will just spiritually, mentally, you'll resist it, and you won't prevail as well as you should in the thing you want to do. And be honest about it. Like, for a long time, I didn't tell my parents I don't want to do that. I just kind of went with what they were pushing. It's only when I had the courage to say, I'm not doing that, I don't want to study that, I actually don't like it, is kind of what I had to say. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
That's when they really had to listen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But before I was silent, I was like, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, okay, fine. It weren't helping me at all.
I'm going to push us on to just a different view now, to think about character. What do you think good character looks like, and in order to be successful, what types of character do you think that you need to work on now?
I think the best characteristics that you should have, like, when you're on your journey to being successful, is like making sure that you're focused on what you're doing, and always looking towards striving to what you want to do.
I think making sure you're actually listening to other people's opinions, and, like, kind of, like, not always going for what you want to do, and, like, you know, letting people, like, open up to you and talk about what they want to do.
Also, being a good character means being able to deal with people with bad characters and being able to just conversate with them even though they don't want to conversate with you, they don't want to listen to you, but still being able to like communicate with them.
What about the characters? I'm thinking just behind us.
Yeah.
You were thinking that
I
we
was
teach
gonna-
you at school.
I
So
was going to go around, but the strive for fives is what I wanted to say because it just sums up everything, like everything everyone else said and more, because it's like everything we're looking for in a characteristic. It's like you've got the considerate, the loyal, successful, and responsible, and all of it, because it's showing you like you take ownership for your own actions, and you're also aware of others around you and how you're treating them and how you'd like to be treated.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think if you think right now, if you're not focusing on those character skills, so if you're a person that's not respectful to those around you, like it's building that habit now.
Yeah.
And you know, really
It's difficult to fix that up.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to work on those things now. It's so important that you work on them now. And also, I don't know, Darren, for you, like, you know, your reputation is so important.
Yeah, you learn very quickly. Reputation, it takes a long time to build it, but you can lose it in a flash. So it's important to protect your reputation because it speaks for you when you're not around. And that's sometimes the first thing people see. Before they see you, they see your reputation. Yeah, definitely take care of it, guys.
Okay, we're just going to round it up now. Thank you, Darren, so much for coming, and thank you, students. I'm just going to, just on our outro, if you want to say more about your ebook, or is there anything that you just want to say, final thoughts?
Just to say thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful pleasure sitting here with some of the students. It's been amazing, great conversations, and yeah, the ebook is going to be out in a few weeks. It's called What We Wish You Knew About Credit. Hopefully I'll provide the links and the ability to take a look at it, but please take a look because we've poured out everything, myself and my business partner Nicole, we've poured out everything we know just to help everybody not make the mistakes we did.